Hey, this is Tyler with TJX Survival. Like a lot of you guys, I use a small pack. This is the Gray Ghost throwback bag. Load my stuff up in it and go in the backcountry. However, if you don't have a small pack, or if all you have is a poncho, there's a way that you can roll all this up and turn it into a pack. Fortunately, I'm here with Kirsten with the Boulder Outdoor Survival School, and she's going to teach us how to do that. So stay tuned.
To make a blanket pack, and this is one variation. So I went ahead and laid out my poncho, laid out my blanket on top of it. I'm going to fold my blanket over about a third of the way. I'm going to load my gear on top of the third that I folded over. I want to begin with something that's going to be really soft against my back. So I'll take my nice warm sweater, my alpaca VersaCloth, pair of long johns, and my hat and wool socks. Next thing I'm going to do is take the remainder of my blanket and fold it on top of all my gear. You'll note that I left about 6 inches from the end where I put my stuff. What I'm going to do is basically buck my knees up to my gear, and then utilize this extra 6 inches as sort of a flap to help me make a nice, clean, tight fold. I'm going to leave about that much space. It's about about the width of your entire blanket pack that you've rolled so far that you want to leave. And what's happened by folding it in thirds is that we've actually created a nice pocket. And so I'm going to put the pack inside of this pocket. First I'm going to let this spider leave. Okay. The cleaner you can make this, the tighter you can make this, the better it's going to be. When you're creating any type of blanket pack, you want to think about the ability to move when you're hiking. You want to be able to go back and forth and up and down with this pack that's on your back staying right there. When things are wobbling and shaking all around, it throws your balance off. So, best thing to do is do it clean and do it right. So I have my pack. Next thing I want to do is tie it up. So I have about 20 feet of parachute cord. I'm going to begin with, I don't know, do you want me to go into knot terminology? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever knot you want to say is fine.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with a figure 8 on a bite. So a bite of rope would be simply to fold it over. I'm going to wrap it around 360, come up through the back side and dress my knot. That's what it looks like. And then I have the top of my pack and the bottom of my pack. I'm going to go ahead and start on the top of my pack about a third of the way and create a rung around the pack. So I'll take my now working end, thread it through that figure 8 on a bite, and then use the cinching kind of method to get it nice and tight. I'll take my non-dominant hand, clench right there so that my dominant hand is free, and now I'm going to do a slippery half hitch with a locking half hitch. Basically, I'm going to throw a bite underneath my rung and then secure it over the top and bring it towards my fingers that we're holding on. The next step is to create 2 more rungs halfway and then that last third. You have 2 options. You can go all the way around your pack and then pull through. You kind of have a lot of cord to work with, but that's all right. And cinch. And the other option is to make a large underhanded loop. So if this is my working end and I put it on top of this standing end, that would be an overhand loop. I want an underhand. So I'll create a large loop with the working end underneath that standing end and simply put it around the back of my pack. And I've done the same thing. Keep a nice spine line, and I'll flip the pack over. Come up with my working end and go over and under each rung. When I first learned how to do this pack, I was taught by a man who told me that if my fingers weren't bleeding by the end of this, I wasn't making it tight enough. I think that may have been an exaggeration, but you should only be able to slip your finger under barely. That's how tight you want to make this cord. Okay, I'm going to go that way so I can stop facing the sun. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Switch. Sweating. All right, next step is to take my working end, come over the pack, and lucky me, I have a loop.
Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk it? So I'm going to pull that working end through, cinch nice and tight. Once again, I'm going to do a slippery half hitch with a locking half hitch. I'm going to grasp this so I can stop it from moving. I'll get a bite of rope underneath. And you want to cinch towards that hand so that you don't lose any slack. And then if my loop is too large, I can adjust it. That seems pretty good to me though. And I'm going to lock it off. All right. That's the basics of getting our pack together in a nice solid manner. I have my poncho that I want access to, easy access to. So what I'm going to do is attach it to the top of this pack. And you'll notice, common sense, I put my poncho down with the outside towards the ground so I can keep the inside of my poncho relatively clean. I want this to be folded up so at minimum it's not wider than my pack. When I'm walking through the woods and there's lots of brush, if I put my poncho on my pack this way, all of the branches are going to hit it. Whereas if I put it this way, they'll slide back. Which means I need to know which side is the front and which side is going to go on my back. I have all these knots on this side. I don't want these against my back. This is going to be the outside of my pack. Got my poncho folded up, put it on top of my pack, come around, Go over under that top rung again. And then come back to my nice loop. Once again, I'll do a slippery half hitch with a locking half hitch. Go ahead and get rid of this excess rope. You can hank it and just kind of shove it under this top. Make sure that it doesn't catch on any branches or anything. The last thing I need to do is put some straps on this. In general, something like a piece of webbing is a great thing to use for your straps. It's like parachute cord too. I mean, there are a lot of uses for having a 12, 14 foot piece of webbing. I'm going to actually go ahead and use this scarf, which also has a lot of uses for me. Pillows, warmth, see what happens. I'll fold this over into 2 halves. And then go ahead and thread each half underneath the top rung. And I'll want to keep these lengths equal. And I'll stop when I have a little pocket right here. I'm going to do what's called a girth hitch. And I'll take each side and put it through. They're naturally going to want to cross. That's fine. I'll let them do that. Tighten it up. And then I'll come down to the bottom rung, go underneath it. I like to put my elbow on the middle rung with the strap between my thumb and forefinger to kind of gauge what type of strap length I'm looking for. Start on the outside, come inside, and a simple overhand knot will do. And then I'll do the same thing with the other side. Start on the outside, overhand knot, ending on the outside once again. Let's see how it goes. And I can use these straps. The reason I wanted them to end on the outside is so that I have a proper waist belt. The scarf feels pretty nice. It's good. Yeah, so that's it. Blanket pack.
All right, guys. So if this has been valuable to you, please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, where can you go?
The Boulder Outdoor Survival School, boss-inc.com.
All right, I will put that down in the link. And thank you for watching TJAC Survival.
Thank you.